Welcome to a presentation on integrated education and training. It's kicking off a technical assistance effort for the whole year, jointly delivered by the Virginia Department of Education and the Virginia Community College System. I'm Heidi Silver-Pacuilla. I'm the Adult Education Coordinator at VDOE.
Hi, and I'm Jim André. I'm the Director of Adult Career Coaching and Transition Programs in Workforce Development at Virginia's Community Colleges.
Great, let's get started. This video will cover several key topics that frame the Integrated Education and Training Model, known as IET. We'll start with Virginia's vision, drawn from the Combined State Plan, then review the legislative definition and regulations guiding IET programming. We'll review some of the common challenges, opportunities, and solutions in delivering this model, and end with some resources and dates for upcoming events.
Virginia's Combined State Plan for implementing the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act lays out a broad and ambitious vision of the roles of education and workforce development to support a healthy economy. This slide highlights goal number 2 that speaks directly to the work of integrating education and training. Achieve measurable skills development in our job-seeking customers in the form of workforce credentials that matter to business. Integrated education and training really can fulfill this goal by supporting adults to learn academic content along with occupational training that leads to industry-recognized and industry-rewarded credentials. The goal of the technical assistance of this program year is to strengthen IET programming. We're looking to help strengthen relationships with local workforce development systems. Wherever you are in Virginia, we want educational and training providers to work closely together to prepare residents for good jobs in their region. We want to help you up your IET game. To meet our ambitious state goals, we will need to increase the rigor of the training and industry-recognized credentials offered and ensure more adults are enrolling in and completing programs with solid skills gains and credentials so they can advance in their careers.
This is the definition of IET taken from the legislation. Take a moment to read it, and we'll spend the next few slides delving into the component parts. The 3 key required components to make up an IET service approach are A, adult education and literacy activities, B, workforce preparation activities, and C, occupationally specific workforce training as defined under training services. Each component is defined in the legislation or regulation, and the links are provided here. All 3 components must be offered, and they must be offered in a specific, integrated manner. It's worth pausing to look at the definition of workforce prep activities. Although the term is familiar to most of us who work with adults, the definition is quite precise and includes many skills and competencies. The start of the definition emphasizes that these many skills and competencies should be taught in combination with academic instruction. We've seen these terms appear in previous years in various lists, such as soft skills, 21st century skills, SCAN skills, and most recently within the framework of employability skills. As you think about incorporating workforce prep activities into your programming, remember that these concepts should not be considered an add-on or extra burden to teach, but rather an enrichment of rigorous academic instruction, as well as woven into the occupational training services. The I of IET, integration, has a specific meaning. Services must be offered concurrently and contextually within the scope of a program. A program could be a single semester, or it could be 2 semesters, or it could be a short-term boot camp. Whatever the overall scope is, all 3 components must be of sufficient intensity and quality, occur simultaneously, and use occupationally relevant materials. The regulations do not provide guidance on the percentages of time for each component, and note that they also do not specifically require co-teaching. There are many ways programs can coordinate this integration. The regulations do emphasize the academic learning that is expected of participants. Integration also means that the planned learning objectives for the student experience, those that cover the whole scope of the course, are shared by academic and occupational instructors. The shared learning objectives that define the scope should be such that students experience seamless support through their coursework, that they are learning the concepts, skills, and vocabulary in their adult education activities that are applied in the occupational training. The objectives should be crafted to cover the overall scope of the IET program.
How can we ensure that an IET experience will have a positive outcome for individuals? Because it is structured to be rigorous and taught according to rigorous standards, locally relevant and part of an enacted vision in the region and state for career pathways and opportunities for career advancement. We will be speaking about the vision and work of career pathways in Virginia in future events. Section 134 of WIOA describes the types of training available under Title I funding. The list includes occupational training for adults, dislocated workers, youth, and incumbent workers. In addition, the section acknowledges basic skills, IET, work-based learning, and customized training to meet an employer's needs as eligible training programs. Interestingly, the section identifies job readiness training as an eligible service, but only when it is delivered in the context of another training program.
Integrated English Literacy and Civics Education, or IELCE, is a particular type of programming offered by adult education providers to support English language acquisition. This slide describes the eligible population and the components of the model. Note that when this model is provided as a service with Section 243 funds, the services must be provided in combination with IET and additional requirements are attached. There are at least two ways to meet the IET requirement of IELCE. As we discussed under training services, there are multiple opportunities to partner with training providers who could co-enroll students in training services. In this model, WIOA Title I dollars would be funding the training, while Title II dollars would be used for adult education and workforce prep activities. In the second option, Title II dollars could be used to support the entire IET programming if the training provided falls within the guidelines for training services. With extremely limited funding, however, this model would not allow adult education programs to support as many students as would partnering.
Clearly, this IET service approach is complicated, has many new requirements, and is best delivered with partners. So let's look at some common challenges and identify some solutions that are already working for service providers and learners in Virginia. Sometimes programs are concerned that the time commitment for a full IET program is too great for busy or stressed students. Here are some ideas for increasing the enrollment and improving the chances that students persist to completion. Getting students who are ready to commit to an IET experience is critical. Recruit students deliberately, prepare them for the rigor of IET, and support them to be successful. Part of your recruitment strategy will be to build your IET program around in-demand credentials that will yield results for the completers. Where are the openings in your region, and what credentials are employers looking for in new hires and for advancement? Work with your local workforce board to identify these and learn about the number of current openings and the salary ranges for these positions. This information will help you recruit and retain students, and your graduates will be your best outreach into their communities. With an eye toward career pathways, identify credentials that will assist workers to grow within an occupation and can help you with long-range planning and your students with career exploration and awareness. Perhaps you can start with an IET program that offers an entry-level credential and plan for future cohorts with more advanced credentials. So how do you identify a qualified provider of training willing to work on a new model of service delivery? One key aspect you're looking for in a partner is that they are respected by and seen as credible within the business community. Are their trainees hired by local businesses? How well does training prepare students for third-party credential attainment? The community colleges are an excellent place to start. You may find that you can work with your local community college to create a separate schedule for an IET cohort so that the student's time is booked as efficiently as possible. Non-credit options can provide short-term training that leads to stackable credentials at low or no cost to the students. The college may also request support of students who are in an in-demand program but need additional academic or English language support to be successful. The local workforce board would also be able to share their eligible training provider list. These providers may be open to coordinating a cohort to support students who may otherwise struggle. And employers in your region may also be sources of partnership to identify career advancement training for a cohort of their incumbent workers. The specific training may be provided by the employer, but the supporting academic or language support could be offered through an IET partnership with adult education providers.
As discussed earlier, as part of overall scope of an IET program, the three components must be offered concurrently. Students should be learning in both adult education and occupational training at the same time. The laws and regulations do not specify the time commitment of each component across the duration. As IET programs are designed, you may want to front-load more academic and language preparation coursework while phasing in the occupational training. And then as the training ramps up and students are spending more of their time in the training component, the adult education and workforce prep activities can lessen to more of a supporting role. However, at no time during the overall scope should students be enrolled in only one component. While the balance can shift, no component should be zeroed out. The type of programming and teaching that IET requires may be new to teachers and administrators. Coordinating the academic and workforce prep coursework with the occupational materials and sequence will require communication and co-planning. Funders will expect to see that instructors are supported to have collaborative planning time for this activity. Creating a timeline and sequence for the scope of the project would help instructors, administrators, and students understand how the activities function cooperatively.
Let's hear from some students who have gone through a middle college program working on their high school equivalency as well as a certified nursing assistant certificate.
It's a special occasion because we are here today because we completed our CNA and now we are just waiting to do our state boards. But we have been working since October to get to where we are at today. It was GED and CNA combined. So we were working on getting our GED first, and then after Christmas break we went straight into CNA. I heard about the middle college program through another graduate, and I thought it's either now or never, because if I don't make a change in my life, that it's not going to be a very bright future. So I wanted to do what I knew that I could accomplish.
I think using the plugged-in Virginia model, where students are working on their GED, in addition to having contextualized instruction for a career-specific industry certification, has been a great addition to the Reynolds Middle College program. I know that Ms. Washko was looking for something additional. You know, what's the next step for students that were coming out of her program with getting their GED? And so I think the adult ed partnership has provided that next step, because it was a model that we have been using for a number of years, and I think it has benefited the middle college program here at Reynolds greatly.
My favorite part about the CNA part is actually being able to help the ones that can't help themselves. Like, we are able to get up in the mornings and shower and make breakfast and clean ourselves, as in where others are not. So I love to be able to help someone in need.
You know, the end game for us is a job. You know, do they have an opportunity for employment? And I think the The program has demonstrated that it's rigorous enough and that it's providing the necessary workforce skills and credentials to get them employment.
When I came into this program, I'm 31, by the way. I've taken the GED test twice. One when I was 18, and once when I was 21. And I pretty much gave up after the second time that I took it. And when I heard about this program, my friend brought me down here to sign up. We were supposed to go through the program together, but I ended up sticking with it and she didn't, and I'm actually glad that I did. Ms. Washko, Ms. Amy, Ms. Flurry, Ms. Epps, everybody has been a tremendous help to us. When we came into this program, a lot of us, like you said, we had our own personal battles. Everybody was going through different things. And I believe this program has helped a lot of us, not just education-wise, but mental-wise, and believing in ourselves, which is something a lot of us never did. And we never had the support before we came here. As far as the CNA part, I'm grateful to Ms. Rowe for helping us with that, and the lab for Ms. Johnson. It really helped us to realize what we were about to get ourselves into and prepared us for when we went to our sites at Virginia Home and Autumn Care. And I just want to thank everybody that believed in us and told us to keep going. And I originally got into this program to make a better future for my children. At this point, I'm worrying about myself, but I'm beyond myself. I just want to make sure that I have something that I can give to my kids, advice, you know, tell them to keep pushing forward and stay in school and do the right things in life. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and we got this.
All right, great video. Thank you for sharing that, Jim. We'll be offering technical assistance and professional learning opportunities throughout the coming year. We recognize that there's much to discuss with service providers about what's working for students and where there are challenges. We look forward to having interactive webinars, online discussions, and to seeing you at conference presentations around the state. You can stay tuned through the VALRC website listed on the resource page. The resources on this site will help you track IET regulations as well as available technical assistance resources. And if you have any questions,
please contact us.
Thank you.